Hello students, I am Mr. Ehimari Andrew, Daily College. We are here to discuss on the subject, basic technology. We are treating the topic, drive mechanisms, or drive mechanism. What is a drive mechanism? Sometimes we are common with some machines around us, but we don't know how they operate. As a technologist, it is important that you should know how they work. In case somebody else asks you in your house, you should be able to explain what the principle behind the working on that machine. Actually, a drive mechanism is a machine or device which can be used to transmit power from one point to another in the mechanical system. There are two common drive mechanisms common in today's industries. They are: 1. Belt and pulley system. 2. Chain drive. Let's look at the belt and pulley system. In belt and pulley system, a system of two pulleys are connected with a belt in which the rotation of the driver pulling and the driven pulling causes the transmission of power for doing work. This is the case with pepper and tomato grinding machine. Students, I know you are conversant with the machine they use to grind pepper in their local market and tomato. So if you come very close to it from this, they can go there and check it. You find out that there are two rolling plates or discs. These two rolling plates or discs, which is this and this, one is bigger than the other. The bigger one is called the driver pulling, while the smaller one is called the driven pulling. Of course, you see that they use a belt to roll the two together. That is the belt you are seeing here. To roll the two together. Now, the rotation of these two discs, which are the driver and the driven pulley, causes a power to be released or transmitted that can be used for grinding that pepper and tomato you see most of the time in the market. Now, there are something that you must do to make this machine more efficient. Number one, the driver must be bigger than the driven. That's what we achieve in that. Because the bigger the driver, the stronger it is to drive the driven. Because the driven, which is the smaller one, go and check it. That's where they normally attach the hopper for the grinding of pepper. That smaller one, go and check it. That's where they normally grind it, because that one should be very fast. So to achieve that, we must make the driver very big so that I can drive that smaller one faster for the grinding. So in other words, we call it the JSS3 ratio. The JSS3 ratio. JSS3 ratio. J, speed ratio. So the JSS3 ratio is actually talking about the speed ratio between the driver pulley and the driven pulley. In other words, we have speed ratio of 3:1. Sometimes we can have speed ratio of 2:1. We can have speed ratio of 4:1. What this one is saying is that we are talking about the JSS3 ratio of 3:1, it will be saying that for every turning of the driver pulley, the driven pulley will turn 3 times. That's what 3:1 is saying, which means when this big one turns once, it should be able to make the small one to turn 3 times, because that's where the power is to grind the pepper. So it will make this small one to turn 3 times. So any tomato or pepper you put there will be grinded as fast as possible. That's the one called the JSS3 ratio. We have JSS3 ratio of 2:1, to which means for every turning of the driver pulley, the small one, which is the driven, should be turned twice. You can find that this is the strongest one now, 4:1, which means for every turning of the driver, the driven should turn 4 times. And that must be very powerful. So that's what we call the JSS3 ratio. Now we'll come to the chain drive. The chain drive, of course, is similar to the belt and pulley, only that here you use chain rope to connect the two. Of course, here you have the jars which also we call the driver and the driven. This is the driver, this is the driven, and in which the two of them are connected with a chain. That's just the difference between the two. So in chain drive, a chain is used to connect two jar wheels, in which the rotation, two jar wheels with the rotation of the system causes transmission power for doing work. That's just the difference between the two. Of course, there's an advantage of using the drag wheel, the chain drive, over belt and pulley, vice versa. For you to use the drag wheel, the chain drive, the advantage there is that it can carry more load. If you go to the market, there is some amount of tomatoes you put in the hopper, the machine will stop working because you are giving a load that the belt can no longer turn. The belt becomes weak. That is belt and pulley for you. If you give it the load that it cannot carry, it will stop. But unlike the chain drive, no matter the load you give to the chain drive, it can ground it. It can carry the load. That's the advantage of using the chain drive. But the disadvantage of using chain drive is that it's very expensive to buy, number one. Two, it's expensive to maintain. Because of the teeth of the jar and the chain, there's a need to be using oil from time to time to oil it. We call it lubrication. And that makes the system very expensive to run. Unlike the belts and pulleys, you don't need oil, you don't need lubrication. Don't use it. It's cheap to run, it's cheap to maintain. That's just the difference between the two. So, in other words, the belt and pulley is more common because you can buy it the whole year, you don't spend one kobo to do maintenance. But that why people always want to buy. Go to the market, you will hardly see the chain drive, you always see belt and pulley system. So that is the operation between the two. So I have some questions for you as classwork. Number one question says, what is drive mechanism? 2, mention 2 types of drive mechanism you know. 3, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using the chain drive? 4, mention at least one reason why people always go for belt and pulley machines. Number 5, what do we mean when the jar speed ratio of a machine is 3:1? Those are your questions. So direct your answers to the WhatsApp number 07039 688 246.